Welcome back to Scruffy Wars. Today we have the Orks running more Daka versus the Astra Militarum running Hammer of the Emperor. We are at 1,500 points today. We're still running on the smaller map, running Take and Hold, but we are working on getting a bigger map. We know that this is not the recommended size of map, but this will be a pretty quick game then. So with the Orks, we have finally finished painting up Ghazghkull, Thraka, and Makari. So he is the warlord today, leading 3 Mega Knobs. We also have... What's this guy's name again, Levi?
Mazrog Scarbad.
There we go, Mazrog Scarbad, leading the Squighog Riders. We have our Boom Daka Snazwagon, Death Dread, Warboss and Mega Armor, leading 3 Mega Knobs. We have our Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun, leading 5 Ludas. And then we have 20 Beast Snagaboys, led by a Beast Boss. And we have our Gretchens back here. For the enhancements today, we are running the enhancement to +1 ballistic skill for the Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun. And the Beast Boss is running the enhancement to give Rapid Fire 1 to their weapons. So, more Daka, Sustain 2 on all infantry and walkers. We will see how this does today against the Astra Militarum. Levi said he wanted to go against tanks, so we busted out Hammer of the Emperor today. We have a Shadow Sword, Leman Russ Tank Commander, Rogaldorn Tank Commander. Leman Russ Tank Commander has the reroll 1s, and the Rogaldorn Tank Commander has the 6-up Feel No Pain. We have a Sentinel. We've got 2 Field Ordnance Batteries, Cadian Command Squad with Cadian Shock Troops, Krieg Command Squad with Krieg Veteran Battle Line Guard. So, that is what we got today. We are doing Take and Hold. We will get to our deployment and go from there. Alright, we are fully deployed. We have the guard parking lot, the orc blobs. Really no way to hide anything, so there's going to be some shooting right away, and it is Orks go turn 1. We are going to see what happens. So, Orks turn 1, here we go. Alright, Orks turn 1. So the Orks moved up, and they took a bunch of shots at the Shadow Sword, and have it down to 17 wounds. So they peeled off 7 wounds off the Shadow Sword turn 1. Man, there are a lot of Orks on the table. That Sustain 2 really came in handy. He had to Sustain 2 a lot. I have a feeling once the Shadow Sword goes away, it'll just be a matter of time before everything else. So, Guard's turn now. We are going to do some moving, some shooting, and see if we can slow down these Orks a little bit. So, alright, Guard turn 1. Here we go. Alright, end of Guard turn 1. Guard turn 1 is pretty good. We did a lot of shooting. We were able to clear out a bunch of stuff. So in the shooting, cleared out all of the Ludas and got the Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun down to 3 wounds. Killed all of the Beast Snagaboys, got the Beast Boss down to 2. Got Mazrog down to 3. Did not touch the Boom Daka Snazwagon. Didn't touch the Death Dread. Didn't touch Ghazghkull. Didn't touch Warboss and Mega Armor. And the Gretchen are back here fine. So we're going to go to the Orks turn 2. We're seeing who is the most shooty out of everybody. All right, Levi, what time is it? All right, guys. Orks turn 2 in the Wa. Very effective. Picked up the Shadow Sword. Picked up the Sentinel. Took 5 wounds off the Rogaldorn. Ghazghkull came in here and just started to clean up shop. I'm going to have to deal with that, or I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. So we're going to go into Guard turn 2. Here we go. Okay, end of Guard turn 2. So I was able to clear out a bunch of stuff here. We took out Ghazghkull, the Boom Daka Snazwagon, Mazrog. I think that was all the stuff that was over here. We got the Death Dread down to a wound. It took almost everything to take out Ghazghkull. That brick took all of the shots from my Cadians, my Krieg, both artillery, and the Leman Russ. It was the very last shot on the Leman Russ that finally took out Ghazghkull. And then the Rogaldorn was able to take out the Boom Daka Snazwagon and get the Death Dread down to 1. So we are moving on to Orks turn 3, and we'll see what happens after that. All right, Orks turn 3 is done. They came in here and did a lot of work. So the Rogaldorn's down to 1. Lehman Russ is down to 7. Lost 6 Krieg, lost 2 Cadians. We will see if I can dig out of this hole. Guard, turn 3. All right, so end of guard, turn 3. We're picking up this guy also. So end of guard, turn 3. We were able to pick up everything. The only thing left for the Orks is the Gretchen here on the home objective. So we're going to go ahead and call the game here for a guard win. So more Daka versus Hammer of the Emperor. This was a very, very interesting game. We're going to probably play this one again on a bigger map. I think on a bigger map, the Orks are going to have an advantage. This was just really close and tight quarters. But I think Levi learned a bunch of stuff with this game. We'll wrap it up here in a little bit. So we'll see you at the wrap-up. All right, guys. So that wraps up our game of Astra Militarum Hammer of the Emperor versus Orks More Daka. So Levi, what did you think of the More Daka?
It's cool.
You rolled a lot of dice. I can't tell you the number of times this kiddo rolled dice and then he got 6. Like it was 1 shot, rolled a 6, turned into 3 shots. It was a good game. It was a good game. I think we talked about it, and I think one of the biggest lessons is he focused on the Shadow Sword a lot early in the game. Instead of focusing on some of the weaker stuff, he just went right after the Shadow Sword. And so the Shadow Sword was able to tank a lot of stuff for a couple of rounds, and it took a bit before he took it down. But also, there's just a lot of shots. Out of those 3 tanks, there's a lot of guns. And so those all shoot. And in this detachment, the Hammer of the Emperor detachment is great for tanks. And I think after Breachhead got nerfed, Hammer of the Emperor is probably going to be the best detachment out there for guard. I think the Combined Regiment is still really good. I'm actually playing a game tomorrow. I'm going to use the Siege Regiment against Eldari, and we'll see what happens there. I'm kind of curious with the Siege Regiment. I'm going to bring some artillery and see what happens. But for our game today, we were trying out more Daka versus Astra Militarum to see who had more shooting. And I'll tell you what, there was a lot of dice rolled today, wasn't there, buddy?
Yeah.
Yep. And how'd you like getting Gazgul on the table for the first time?
Good.
Yeah, what'd you think of Gazgul and his unit just tanking all of the shooting from my entire army before it finally got him?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool, yeah. I just couldn't end the game before turn 3 because there was just... I had to focus so many shots on Gazgul with Makari and those Mega Knobs. It's just a hard thing to shoot through. In the More Daka, the thing where you can just do the WA every turn for a unit. So he used that on Gazgul's unit every turn, right?
Yeah.
Until Gazgul died. When Gazgul died, he used it on the War Boss unit. So it just gave those Mega Knobs so much survivability. Just like to chew through them is very, very difficult. So, but we did, after that, I was able to, once I chewed through all of that, I was able to just, we were at the point where Levi would have been tabled if we would have just kept it going. So we decided to call the game. A lot of fun. I always love playing games with Levi. This was one he asked for. He helped build the list. He picked the list that we were going to play. We'll try out something next. We did say it'd be Custodes this time. My wife is just finishing up putting the rest of the stuff on her Custodes so that we can get that on the table. So we have a fun challenge, though, for that Custodes game, right, Bubba?
Yeah.
Are you excited for that challenge?
Yes.
All right, so what do you have to say to everybody before we go?
When you walk, make sure it's on your Gazgul Thraka.
Yeah, when you do the WA, make sure it's your Gazgul Thraka.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.